This new AI agent is replacing all manual video editing work. It indexes vast footage libraries for semantic search. It can do an entire rough cut of your project. It can also organize your project into project bins. And all of this is done while natively supporting Premiere Pro files. And this means that once you're done with the AI work, you can import this into Premiere Pro and finish up the edit. Now, this tool is called Wideframe. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up, how to use it, and more importantly, how you can save hours of time editing every day. And by the way, this tool just got accepted into Y Combinator, which is a big deal. And their pitch for this was Claude Code, but for video editing. So we'll see if this lives up to the name. And for those that don't know, YC is the most prestigious startup accelerator in the world. It's basically the same program that backed the likes of Airbnb, DoorDash, Stripe, Dropbox, Reddit, and many, many more. The reason I'm saying this is because by Wideframe getting into YC, this means they have elite mentorship, serious funding, and a network that can help them accelerate at a much quicker pace. Meaning, if you are a video editor or an agency owner, you should pay attention to this tool right now, because it's very possible that this is going to be huge. Okay, so this is Wideframe. Super simple. All we have here is a prompt box and a little button down here that says attach, which is what we can use to attach any of the files that we want to work with. Now, up the top left, we have this button over here, which will basically bring up old chat histories. So if I click on one of these chat histories, I can see up the top right, I have another text saying workspace. It's essentially where I'm going to find the video timeline to be able to craft whatever video that we're creating inside of Wideframe. You'll see in just a moment. Okay, but that was a very quick overview. The first thing I'm going to do now is organize a bunch of my footage, because as you can see here, I have 27 different folders of random editing clips that are split into multiple different folders. What I'm trying to say is it's very unorganized, and Wideframe is going to help us with that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is drag in basically the entire folder that I just showed you, and I'm going to paste this prompt. Organize every asset from this folder, and I want to organize them by theme. And then I also added one prompt down the bottom, which basically said if footage can't be defined by the place, then just create a new subfolder for this. And that's it. I'm going to send it off now, and it's going to begin thinking. Okay, so as you can see, it has analyzed 402 files, and now it's going to analyze even more folders. So it had 28 B-roll folders, and it split it into travel location themes, meaning Dubai, 3 different locations in Poland, Latvia, Amsterdam, and Sagaro. And then life was split into fighting and working out. And then there's 2 folders created for other, which was editing on laptop and cartoon. And the reason I'm starting with this, by the way, and not some crazy animations or trimming or whatever, it's because this is first of all the first step that I need to do when I'm editing any of these kind of vlogs, where I have so much footage that I need to work with, and I need to just import it and then organize it. And if you're an editor with, for example, an iPhone and a MacBook, you know how annoying downloading files from Google Drive is, and then opening them up, and they're embedded in all the wrong folders, and it's a mess, and you need to organize them. That does take me a lot of time. Now I think Wideframe is going to handle this. So if it does, then this is actually going to save me hours of my life when editing. And boom, there we go. Each folder has images and videos subfolders. Nice, nice, nice. 402 files organized from the 28 scattered editing clips into a new structure. And this is the new structure, as you can see on screen. We have travel locations, as I mentioned, live, B-roll, and other. And keep in mind, this structured files, images, and videos. So some folders had no images, for example, and it was able to understand that. As you can see, yeah, everything is organized into the correct folder, which I wanted. And it was done so very quickly. And if we open up one of these folders, yeah, you can see images, videos separate, and it's done that for basically every single thing that I asked it for. Okay, as you can see, that's how powerful this tool is with just one prompt. It actually helped me with something that I need to do every day. And that was probably the easiest example that I'm going to show you in this video, because I want to really put this tool to the test and see what else it's capable of. So as I said in the intro, this also has semantic search. Now, with this next use case, I'm going to show you how we can use semantic search to find any specific clip that we want to use for our edit. And so once again, I attached the entire bureau folder, and I'm saying in this folder, find footage of me on a jet ski. Okay, so as we can see, we got the first response, and it says there are a lot of files across many subfolders. Jet ski footage could be in several locations. The folder name alone doesn't make it obvious. And we can also see interesting reasoning here. It said, let me analyze the most likely candidates. Dubai and Latvia seem like water activity locations, but I should check broadly. Interesting. So it's saving itself time by not scouring through every single folder, and by basically looking for the most likely locations, since this B-roll footage is split into the different locations that I was at. And by the way, spoiler alert, the jet ski footage is in the Dubai folder, so it is correct with this analysis. Okay, as we can see, the Dubai analysis is done, and that took 14 minutes to scour through. Now, is that a long time? Maybe. However, keep in mind that you can continue your editing whilst this is looking for that footage, or you can basically do whatever you want. So this is kind of like a background task. It's not like you have to sit here and wait for this response, because obviously 14 minutes is quite a long time to find something like this. You might find it faster on your own. However, this is time that you're saving yourself, because you don't need to be searching for these specific files. Okay, and now we've finished analyzing Latvia folder as well. And one thing I gotta say is that so far I didn't touch anything as well. I didn't have to approve anything. I didn't have to send extra prompts. It didn't ask me for confirmation or nothing. There we go, we got the results, but this has been going fully autonomously since I sent off that initial prompt. Okay, so this is actually really interesting. So it did find 19 different videos, and it also gave a very detailed description, such as you riding a jet ski near the Burj Al Arab. So I do like the way that it completely understood even Burj Al Arab. I mean, that's a very specific location. As you can see, this is the description. So I'm not sure if that got it from the transcript or if it got it from just the Burj in the background, but that is very impressive. So let's take a look at the first video over here, which is me riding in front of the Burj. As you can see, you can basically scroll through. Yeah, this is obviously me on a jet ski, so it got that quite right. The second video as well, and the images as well. This is all basically me on a jet ski. So yeah, I think this was a success, and this was another great use case for this tool. Okay, so far this tool has been very powerful, I'm not gonna lie. And right now, what I realized is that the hardest part of using Wideframe is to understand what it can even do, because all you get is the prompt box and the ability to attach files. And most people will just send off the worst prompts and ask for too much and not actually optimize Wideframe to what it's actually good at. So if you actually watch this video till the end, you're going to understand every use case that you can do with Wideframe and how to maximize it to its fullest potential. But just before I show you how to do that, if you are enjoying this content and you want to see more videos just like this one in your For You page, make sure you subscribe so that we can get this number from 94% not subscribed down to 90%. Thank you. And so the next use case is going to be creating some sort of animation or some sort of stock footage. We've seen these kind of things with Remotion in the past, where you can connect external tools, external services, APIs to Remotion in order to generate animations. And so I'm going to do just that. I'm going to tell Wideframe to create an animation explaining how the war between Israel and Iran works. Now this is a relatively hard task to do, so I mean, we'll see what I can do. So it's actually creating a voiceover for this as well, which is interesting because I never asked for a voiceover. I just asked for a map animation, and we can see the tasks on the right. We have generating video with VO, another generating video, transcribing media, and analyzing media. Okay, and then we got a 7.2 second clip using VO, and it also created some sort of a voiceover. And as we can see, it created them separately over here. So we have the voiceover, we have the map reference image, and now it is assembling the final sequence. We can see it in our workspace on the top right. We have the PNG, the MP3, and now if we open up the MP4, let's see what this looks like. So
Iran surrounded Israel.
Okay, it's really bad. I mean, I don't know why it highlighted the Persian Gulf, but yeah, I kind of completely missed Iran. I don't know if that's the fault of Wideframe or if that's the fault of VO, but either way, this was just a random use case that I thought I'll show you. The next use case is actually going to be a lot more interesting, because now I'm basically going to show you how to edit a video completely from scratch using Wideframe. Meaning I'm going to try mask my face cam, I'm going to try get more AI images and do compilations in the video. I'll try to do a bunch of other different things like trimming the whole video, cutting out repetitions, and basically see how much of the video can Wideframe actually edit. So with that being said, let's move on to the next use case, and I'm actually going to start editing now. I imported this footage, and I'm basically going to say trim the video and remove all repetitions. There should not be more than 0.1 second pause between sentences. If this does it correctly, then this tool already replaced Firecut for me, because this is essentially what I'm using Firecut for, is just removing silences, removing breaths, and sometimes removing repetitions, and also generating timestamps for video. Now, the one annoying thing that I don't like is that I can't see what model it's using. I don't know if this is Opus, if this is DeepSeek, if this is Qwen. I just have no idea, you know. Okay, so as we just seen earlier, it basically sent off two different background tasks. And keep in mind, this is a 21-minute long video, which is 4K resolution. And then what it does is that it analyzes the transcript in order to look for repetitions. And here, I think we're going to see it debugging in real time, because it said that the transcript came back empty, looking like a caching issue. Let me force a retranscript. Retranscription is running with force refresh, waiting for it to complete. So this is why these agents are getting more and more powerful, just like we've seen with the rise of OpenClaw, where the models were already good enough to do all of these agentic tasks, but they just weren't given the right permissions and weren't given enough autonomy. So once you give these tools more autonomy and the ability to basically fix themselves, they start becoming really powerful. And we can see that with OpenClaw, and now we're starting to see that with Wideframe. There are 4 audio streams. The transcription tool may be picking the wrong one, possibly a silent track. This is absolutely correct, because when I record with OBS, I have 4 different audio tracks, and 3 of which are typically silent. One of them might have music or something, but as you can see, it has identified exactly what is wrong in the first 2 minutes. And so it has identified that stream 0 was silent, and then it went ahead and used the transcription of a different audio track in order to get get the transcript. And once it done that, it came back with this summary. It trimmed 6.5 minutes, aka almost 70% of the video removed, and it removed repeated tasks, self-talk and editor notes. Okay, I'm going to redo this section. Okay, video playback audio, the Alex Hormozi clip segment playing on screen, noise slash filler, mid-sentence stutters, false starts and resets. Yeah, this is kind of cool because I don't really get this summary with the likes of Firecut, for example. But yeah, this is basically everything that you do need to trim out in one of my videos. Repeated tasks, editor notes, some noise, and some mid-sentence stutters. So let's see, I'm going to click on this now, and over here we can see we have a couple of different items. This is our sequence over here, so we're going to open up the sequence. And okay, you can see just underneath my webcam, this is the timeline basically for everything. You can see where it made its cuts, and as we just seen a second ago, there's also a .md file with the transcript of the video that we can click on. Okay, so I press play, but I don't hear anything. I presume that it basically took the wrong audio track from the OBS file, and that's why it's silent. So I am going to send another prompt and basically tell it to use the right track. And again, if you want to add any prompt, you can just do so on the left over here. So I'm going to specify that there is 4 audio layers. Only keep the one with my audio mic. Okay, and there we go. It fixed the audio basically. So let's see what it sounds like. You can use AI images for inside your business. Now I'm going to start by making a new chat because as you just seen, I connected it to Google Drive, so we have history of our chats, but I don't want this cat anymore. So I'm going to click on Playground over here and we have a new chat. Again, I'm going to select Nanobanana Pro just up here to make sure it's selected. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my logo inside of Google AI Studio. Again, if you get some pop-up, you can just acknowledge it. Okay, it's not bad, it's okay. It did cut out like a bunch of different repetitions and some gaps, but there's still some big gaps in between some of the cuts. So right now, I would probably still use Firecut for the trimming rather than using this, but this tool, from what I've seen, is more for organizing footage, laying it all out, and not actually for editing the footage like we see in here. Now, but I'm not done with testing the editing capabilities of this tool. I'm going to do a bit more of that later in the video, but I'm going to continue with this project, and I want to show you how we can mask something and add a background to it. But for example, one thing that I always do is my camera, I always mask it. So I'm going to want to see if Wideframe is able to mask that. And so with the fact that I have to mask my webcam so often, I'm going to basically just send this off to Wideframe and say for the first 5 seconds of the video, mask out my face cam. Open bracket, circle mask, close bracket. Don't change any position or size of the face cam. Now I'm going to go down and say, then add a white background behind the face cam. So let's send it off. Okay, as you can see, it can see the face cam in the bottom right corner. I used frame tracking for precise bounding box coordinations. So I used bbox to find the face cam, and now it's going to use ffmpeg to generate assets, and the assets it needs are a circular masked face cam image sequence. So it's going to generate 2 PNG images using ffmpeg, a white circle PNG for the background and a circle cropped face cam, which needs to be extracted per frame of the video. So first of all, I think I misunderstood what I said about the white background, but then redone its own approach and said actually the most practical approach is to use the clip system with the crop, plus the fact that text overlays can create a circle shape using Unicode character. Okay, so it's basically going back to the original approach that I had. And while this is generating, I also want to mention that you can do a bunch of other basic stuff. Like for example, in this recording that you're seeing right now, there is a cropped top that you're not seeing, and this isn't fit to frame, meaning when we have to edit this video, there's going to be a little bit of adjustments. So once again, you can do stuff like that inside of Wideframe as well, but I just think that's like a super small use case that I just thought I'd mention, but I'm not going to show you. Okay, so as we can see, it updated the sequence, and it has done so just for the very beginning, or the very first frame. And as you can see, just above my face cam, like way up there, there is a white circle just around the face cam. So it has cropped it out. It has cropped it out correctly. But as I was saying, it did misunderstand what I actually wanted to do with the white background. I wanted everything white background, but it only added the white background around my face cam. But yeah, I think that's fine. The test was more so for seeing whether or not it's going to mask out the face cam. And I'm going to say, make the white background full screen. There should be just a white background and face cam visible. So let's see if it'll understand the prompt. And yeah, as you can see now, it's correct. So it did understand how to mask out the face cam. It did create a circular mask, and yeah, it looks good. It looks like it done what I wanted it to do. Would I use it for something like this? I'll be honest, probably not. I still think that this tool shines completely in organizing footage, finding footage, all that kind of stuff. That's where you're actually going to save a lot of your time. But this is just something interesting to see whether or not it's going to be able to do use cases like this one. Okay, but instead of doing the mask asking, I'm going to say for the first 5 seconds, add a sequence with examples of AI images. Because what I'm trying to do right now is see if it's actually going to be able to edit the entire video, help me with everything from scratch. So as I said, I do need the video to be trimmed, which it has done. I do need my face cam to be masked out, which has been done. Now I typically add visuals during the start of the videos for you guys so that you have an entertaining beginning. So let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can import some AI images. So every image should be on screen for exactly 0.5 seconds. So find examples on the web, include business use cases like brands, mockups, products, etc. Let's send it off. So I'm just going to find compelling AI generated business images. It's using the web search tool, as you can see. So once again, it does have access to the internet, which is nice. Okay, it found 10 images. These are the 10 different images, and apparently it added them in somewhere. So once again, I'm going to zoom in on the timeline, and you've seen how I done that. And there we go. We can't see the images. So in the first 5 seconds, we have 10 images, which if my maths is correct, then yeah, that is correct. So let's see what kind of images it added and how it looks. So first of all, as you can see, the mask is still applied, and then we see that we have one image. I don't know if that's just lagging or we can't see the other images, but we can see only one image. Oh no, we can see multiple images. Okay, so that was actually pretty cool. It did find nice images, and it done fast cuts through all of them. So the different images are product mock-up, luxury cosmetics packaging, tech startup brand, streetwear hoodie, real estate villa, coffee brand packaging, sneaker advertisement, restaurant branding, fitness apparel, and eco-friendly packaging. So basically a bunch of different AI images that I used for the intro with a masked face cam with a trimmed video. So yeah, we're making good progress with this video so far, but we're not done. I'm going to tell it to change the size of all of the images. I want to make them smaller and place on the white background on the right side. So now we can see it's resizing everything, changing X, Y, Z coordinates, and we have our use case. So let's check it out. Okay, this looks good. The one thing is that I said the right side instead of the left side, which is my bad, but this looks good. This is basically what I imagined. So I'm just going to specify left side instead of the right side. And so here we can see, even if you do make a mistake, you can adjust the prompt, and as you can see, it moved it over to the left side. And again, if you want some slight adjustments, I would say, you know, make this 50% bigger or whatever, and then you can see it's super easy. You can just type in plain English and you can edit your video. But again, all of this was just like extra stuff that I'm showing you. I personally don't think this is there yet. I don't think I'd ever use AI for this specifically. I mean, maybe, who knows? You know, if I already have a project in Wideframe, then maybe, because this actually wasn't a bad example. The images, I mean, but the adjusting and stuff like that, I think it's too inconvenient. I like to just, you know, click on motion in Premiere Pro and drag stuff around. I think that's so much easier than typing in English. And that's why I think there is such big hype around Remotion, because you can add those features into Remotion by basically telling it to add an XYZ motion coordinates, whatever you want to call it, so that you can tweak the singular layers inside of Remotion to reposition whatever assets that you want to do. That's what all of these AI tools are missing. They're all missing the granular control and the very basic control over your assets in your project timeline. Now, granted, we can export this into Premiere Pro, which I'll show you how to do that later, and then we have the granular control, but that's why I'm saying I probably wouldn't use it for this, because I would just export this once it's ready and then play around with it inside Premiere Pro. Okay, so the final thing I want to show you is actually exporting this as a Premiere Pro project so that we have granular control over everything. So that's basically all I'm going to specify in the prompt, is just to create a PR proj so that I can export it into Premiere Pro. Now we're going to send it off, and okay, it has created the project. However, I noticed that it doesn't have everything. So for example, it didn't send over the AI images or the face cam mask. So I'm just going to specify that there are no audio channels connected and no image files attached, and also no mask in the background. So I'm going to specify those things, and it should basically send over everything. Let me verify sequences. Okay, and yeah, we have everything now. So we have 63 clips in V1, 1 clip in V2, 10 clips in V3, 1 clip in V4. So that's the white background images, and then we have the face mask, and then we have a 163 clips, which is the audio. Perfect. So we have our project. Now we can just click on the hyperlink, and you can see we have the Premiere project opened up. And then above our face cam over here, just like it was stated, we have the multiple different bins. We have the audio, video, sequences, intro assets, and face cam. So if we open up sequences and then double click, we can see, perfect, this is exactly what I had. So now we can actually customize everything to our liking. So if I click on, let's say, the face cam over here, we can see that we have all of the different Premiere Pro settings. I can move this around, full control over everything. So this is awesome. But okay, the one issue that was there is you obviously seen that there was a red audio track, meaning the audio was not linked. So I'm going to specify that. that saying that the audio is not linked. Just give me the render of the audio layer so that I can download it and link it myself. Okay, it done just that. You can see this is the audio track M4A. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then I'm just going to open up Premiere Pro and relink it to this audio file. This will basically save us a bunch of time from having to redo the entire Premiere Pro project from scratch, because all that was missing is the audio. So we have this, so I'm going to open up the source audio sequence. I'm going to right click on it and click on link media. Then I'm just going to find that file, which is this one right here, search, boom, okay. And as you can see, we have the file relinked. So now what I want to show you is that we can extend this, because the video itself isn't actually embedded, meaning even though it was trimmed, we have it as a project file. We don't have it as a final video render. So if something was cut out inside of Wideframe that later you wanted to go back and reintroduce inside of the project, we can do just that. As you can see right here, this was cut out. This long pause was cut out automatically earlier in the video when I tried to cut out all the pauses. Now I just added it back. So yeah, this is essentially how you should use AI for your edits. Don't rely on absolutely everything. Get it to save you a bunch of time, import it into something like Premiere Pro, and then expand on what you already have done with AI. Now personally, Nano Banana Pro is probably my favorite tool to use as a video editor, and just in general, it's so good. If you want to see the best 8 use cases that I use Nano Banana Pro for every single day after generating over 10,000 different AI images, then just check out this video up here. I'll see you there.